Hello and welcome to another video of Learn with Sahil. In this video we are going to solve a past paper of Pearson Edexcel International GCSE so in the first page, okay, here we have gotten some important details. Okay, so you have to write your surname and other names. In this surname, just simply you'll have to write your family name, for example Smith or Ahmadi or Muradi. Okay, and on the other names, here you will have to just write your first name or second name. Okay, and then after that, you have gotten the center number. That is just the number of the test center that you are just taking the exam in, and your candidate number. Okay, and then we have gotten this exam is going to be a 3-hour exam, and you are just going to take it on computer. And here there's just some things are told to you. For example, use black ink or ballpoint pen. Okay, fill in the box, answer all questions. Okay, you will have two types of questions. One, the ones that you will have to write code. For those, you will have to just write the codes on the computer, because this is a practical computer and you're going to take this exam on a computer. Okay, and the questions that require written answers, you will just be provided the papers and you will have to just write your answers on the paper. And throughout the examination, you are allowed to use only one programming language, whether you will just select Python, C# or Java. Okay, but one of them. You cannot use Python for one question and just Java for another, so you have to just be careful about that. Then practical tasks will be just done on the computer. And another thing that you should not forget, do not overwrite the original code and data files provided to you. Okay, no changes there. It means when you just modify or when you just change the code, you will have to save them by any other name. Okay, the original file should not be touched and they should not be just changed. And we have gotten the total mark is 80 or just things like that. Okay, overall. And one important thing that here we have in some of the questions, you might just need to cross a box. Okay, like this. And if you just crossed a box once and then you changed your mind and you just simply wanted to change your answer, simply put a line through the box, and after that, you can put a cross on your new answer. Okay, then there are just things you can just read. Then here you have to select which programming language you are going to use. Okay, for example, in this video we are just going to use Python, so simply what I'll do is just I'll just put a cross there. Okay, so I will use that. Then the first question is here. Okay, here is just when we start with the question. Programmers write program to solve problems. So that is just, we know programmers use many different techniques and tools to solve problems. Identify what is meant by the term abstraction. So breaking a problem down into smaller, more manageable parts, well, that is not abstraction, that is decomposition. Deciding if a program is efficient in terms of execution time, so that is evaluation or testing. Okay, simply we'll check that. So that is not abstraction. Drawing flowcharts with symbols used in the computer industry, so that is just simply drawing flowcharts. Okay, and removing unnecessary details to highlight the important ones. Okay, so that is the correct answer, and just simply we will have to just put a cross there. Okay, so on your papers you should just do it neatly. Then then B. Okay, open Q01B in the code editor. So it means out of the codes which are just provided to us, we will have to open one. On the test day, you will be just guided that where are the files saved and where you have to save the files. Okay, you will be just guided about that, so no need to just take any kind of tension about that. Right now, we have saved the files on the desktop. Okay, so we will access it from there, but on the exam day it might be just stored somewhere else, but you will be guided through that. Okay, a user enters a name and an age when the program executes. Good, so that is input. The program should display a welcome message when the user is less than 30 years of age. If he is or if the user is less than 30 years of age, then we should have a welcome message. Okay, So good. Amend the code to complete the program, and after that save your amended code as Q01B finished with the correct file extension for the programming language. So that is just what we have to do. On your exam day, different IDEs or code editors might be just installed on your computer. You have to just ask your test center, okay, that yeah, which code editor are you just going to use. So there might be just different code editors. They might use Python idle, they might use Thorny, they might use VS Code, okay. So ask them, and at least for 2 weeks try to practice with the exact IDE or code editor that will be provided to you on the exam, okay. And Python idle, Thorny, and VS Code, okay, they are just some most used IDEs installed on the test centers computers. So you have to just ask them which one is. In this program, in this video we are going to use the Thorny code editor, okay. So yeah, open that, okay. I've just already opened that, and yeah, here I'll just simply have to find the file, okay. So file, then open, and yeah, we have stored that inside. So yeah, data files of things, codes. As you can see here, just C#, Java, and Python, just they are all present. We are working with Python, so we'll just simply go to the Python, okay, and that is Q01B, okay, .py. So open that inside this code. And yeah, we have to just change this code to the same according to the question, okay. So a user enters a name and an age. So name, so complete the line to initialize my name to an empty string. So empty string is simply, we will just write one empty string there, okay. Let me make it larger so it is just easier for you to read, okay. Then add a line to create an integer variable called my age and initialize my age to 0. So in Python that is quite easy, okay. My age equals 0, okay. My name, input that, okay, that's done. Complete the test to check if the age is less than 30. So yeah, if my age is less than 30, okay. Add a line to display a message that says welcome. So you can just write that there or just unded it, okay, as long as you have indentation, so that works. So simply print, and here you will have welcome, okay. So that's our code here, and if my age is less than 30, then you'll have a welcome message, okay. So that's it. If I just simply run this, enter your name, for example, yeah, I'll write there Sahil, and for example age, I'll write there 23. So yeah, we have gotten one welcome, okay. And just let's test it the other way around as well. So again, name Ali, okay, and enter your age, for example 56. So we will not have any. So that's it. And now see, we have to save this with another name. So I'll just simply go to file, save as, and we will select any location that yeah, we will just we would need to just work on, okay. You will be guided for that in your exam center, okay. But right now we will just simply create a new file here and write here finished, okay, and we will store it inside this, okay. So finished, yeah, enter this, and yeah, mostly you will just simply have to write one finished in your sentence there, okay. And you have to be very careful about the names, okay. If the names are not correct, then you might not be awarded the scores, okay. So that is safe. So that is our first question, okay. So open Q01C in the code editor. Use the code to answer these questions. Give the text of a comment used in the code. So let's just now open that, okay. So again, file, open, and yeah, that was inside Python, and let's open this. So the first part is give the text of a comment used in the code. So inside the code you can just see many comments, okay. If I just make it small. So yeah, this is a comment, okay, you can just simply write that, or this is a comment, you can just write that, okay, loop for 50 times, and yeah, we do not have more comments, so you can just write any one of them, okay, you can just write any one of them. You will have your pen, so you will have to just write by a pen. Here, yeah, we can just have any of those codes. For example, loop for 50 times, okay, loop for 50 times, okay, or you can just write the other one as well, you will be scored, okay. Give the text of a line that creates and initializes a variable. So here again, creates and initializes a variable. You can write count 0, total 0, subtotal 0. You can just write any one of them, okay. So that is creating or initializing. So I'll just simply write total is equal to 0, okay. So yeah, I can just use that again, total equals 0, okay. So that is just another line. Give the keyword that starts the selection used in the code, okay. So what keyword is used here to start the selection? So while, that is just used to create the loop, and this if, okay, that is just the code that is used to start the selection. So you can just write here if, okay, you will be just scored. Give the logical operator used in the code. So what logical operator is used here? So yeah, here we have gotten if count is larger than 10, or count is smaller than 20, and between them we have just got an and there. So yeah, you can just simply write the and. Clear? So arrays and records are data structures. Identify the data that must be stored in a record rather than array. Okay, array is simple. Array must have the same data type. So here in the first one, okay, so King Lear, Macbeth, Romeo Juliet, The Tempest, okay, so all of them, they are just strings. So this can be an array. This has to be an array, but our just question has told us must be stored in a record, so that cannot be, okay. So yeah, these are just different types. So this can be a record. Here all of them are integers, so no. Here all of them are floats, so no. So the only correct answer here is B, okay, which has just gotten different data types. Clear? So identify the data that must be stored in a record rather than an array. So that is just the answer for that. Complete the table to show the data types of each item. So yeah, 45.82. So here, yeah, this one you can write any of these words, okay. You can write here real, okay, so that will be just, I think that, yeah, that is correct, okay. So you can write real, or you can write here bool, float, okay, or even you can write decimal. So any one of them, if you just write, that will be just all right, okay, but one of them. Now that we are just working in Python that is float, okay, but in programming overall, that is just known as real. Then true, so yeah, true there you can just use boolean, okay, or bool, okay, or bool, one of them, okay, only one of them as well. If you just write, you will just get your scores, and yeah, 2 scores will be awarded to you at the end of this, okay. So that is for this question. Programmers design programs. Identify the terms for a step-by-step description to complete a task, okay. So computational thinking, that is just overall process, decomposition, pseudocode, no, then yeah, that is kind of what that is, algorithm, okay. So that is a step-by-step description to complete a task. A constant is a memory location whose values does not change during program execution. Give the name for a memory location whose value can change during program execution. So of course that will be variables, okay. You can write variables there, or variable, okay. So that is just the answer for this question, only that one word. You will be just scored 1. Programs can have runtime errors. State what is meant by the runtime error. So simply you will have to just define what is runtime error, okay. Yeah, you can just write a description of that. For example, we can say runtime error, okay, the program crashes while running because some unacceptable operations try to happen. Okay, something like that. So yeah, okay, unacceptable operations try to happen. So for example, yeah, that you can just write that, and that is completely right, and you will have just your score. Okay, the next question is give one example of a runtime error. Okay, so a runtime error, any type of error that happens during execution, okay, or while file is just being run, okay, because of some unacceptable operations that try to happen. Division by zero, okay, array index out of bound error, or simply just trying to access data from outside the array with higher or even lower indexes sometimes, okay. File not found, okay, you can just write file not found there. Data types, things like that, okay. So simple, we will just write here division by zero, okay, division by zero. Any one of them, if you just write, that will be just correct. Then the next question here, open Q02C in the code editor. The program generates a random number for the width of a rectangle. So it does it, okay. The length of rectangle is always 4. The program should calculate the parameter of the rectangle, okay. So the program should display the width, the length, and the parameter of the rectangle. There are 3 errors in the code. Amend the code to correct the errors, okay, and save your amended code as something like this. So let's just open the next file, okay, that we are just looking for. So yeah, file, then open to C. So import random, that is just good. Then yeah, this is the first error, okay. In Python we do not just use that. So yeah, parameter is equal to 0 with random. So yeah, when calling subprograms or functions, we have to use comma between the different elements, okay. So that is the second error. And parameter is equal to 2 divided by width, okay. Parameter, that will be 2 multiplied by width, 2 multiplied by length, and just add them together. So yeah, this can be just the next problem, okay. So we have to put a multiplication there and print width, length, and parameter, okay. Let's just run it and try to just see it, okay. Yep, import random. So that is 5, okay, width, which is just random number. So 5 is generated, 5 and 4. So 2 times 5 will be 10, 2 times 4 will be 8, and just add it together, 18. That is just correct, okay. And we are not having any kind of error there. We'll run once again. So 1 is generated this time, okay. 2 times 1 will be 2, 2 times 4 will be 8, and 2 plus 8 will be 10. So just that is completely all right. Then yeah, you do not forget to just save your program, okay. So again, save as, and yeah, I think the previous program as well I did not save here. So 1 finished, okay, finished. So we will have that, and save. If you have not saved any of the files, okay, this one is not saved. So again, yeah, file, save as, okay, and again try not to forget to save the files after you just finished each question, okay. So this was a mistake. Save, clear. So just that is just another question done, okay, and we just got our 3 scores here. Then yeah, figure 1, the next question, okay. Figure 1 shows a part of an online form displayed in a browser. So that is memorable word that has to be between 2 up to 8 letters, okay. Date, that is 31/1/2019. Figure 1, okay. So that is, complete the table to show 2 examples of erroneous, 1 example of normal, and 1 example of boundary test data for the memorable word field. Okay, so there. So as you can see, yeah, the memorable word, and it has to be between 2 words and 8 words. Okay, so erroneous data is just can be just anything that might generate problem. So in erroneous data we can just write many things. Okay, let me just, for example, I can write there okay, so that is a word which is just kind of, that will be an erroneous data. Okay, or you can just write any word which is just more than 8 letters. Okay, so beautiful. Okay, so that will be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Okay, so that is an erroneous data, and it is just asking you another one. So yeah, you can again create the same thing. Okay, you can write there again or you can just write a number there. Okay, so that is just not word. Okay, it has gotten letters. Then normal. Okay, right there is smart. Okay, so smart is acceptable, that is just a word between 9. And boundary data. Okay, boundary data can be just a word like okay, that has just gotten only 2 letters, so that is a boundary data, or just any other word that has gotten 8 letters. Okay, so that is what you have to do. So that is 4 other marks that you just simply earned. Okay, and then programs use logic, display data, and validate input. Okay, the truth table shows the initial value for A and B. Complete the truth table to show the result of each operation. So A or B, so that is A or B, then not B. Okay, so A or B, A is false, B. When we just say A, even one of them, if it was true, the final result can be just true. Okay, so this has to be 1. Okay, this has to be 1, and the next one has to be 1. Clear? Then not B, so not B, that is 0, it will be just 1. Okay, that is false, it will be true. That is B is true, it will be false, and B is false, it will be true, and B is true, it will be false. Clear? And in the last one we have gotten A or B and not B. Okay, so A or B we have just gotten here, not B we have gotten here, and between them we have gotten just AND there. So AND, it means both of them have to be true, then the final result will be true. Okay, so this will be 0, this one will also be 0, this one will be 1 because both of them are true, and the final one will be 0. Clear? So that is just what you have to do, and that is just another 4 marks. Then figure 2 shows the intended output from a paragraph that displays every other name in an array of star names. Okay, so every other name, it means write 1, skip 1. Okay, so for that, open Q03B in the code editor, amend the code to display every other name in the array of star names. Do not add any further functionalities, and just save your code. So let's open Q03B. Okay, so we'll just simply, from the folder there, we will just simply QA3B. Okay, I'll just simply open that, and now we will just check. So let me just make it larger, because I think here we will just need that. Then so that is just the list of our names, and write your code. So here for I or index in range, and it has to start from 0, it has to go up to star names, sorry, len of that. Okay, because I just simply need len of star names. Okay, then step has to be 2. Okay, so that is one thing here. It will start from 0, go up to len dot star name, so that is for example, if we have gotten 10 elements here, it will go up to 9. Okay, 9 will be done, 10 itself won't be done. So that is just completely all right. And because we just want every other name, that will be just right there. Okay, and yeah, here if I just write print, okay, and inside print what? Star names index I. Okay, index I. So every time that starts from 0, then 2, then 3, then 4. Okay, do we need to do anything else? No, they said in the program they have just told us not to add any other functionality. Okay, and I think yeah, we have that is just the output. Okay, so let me run this code and see if we just get the same result. Okay, so here, yeah, Alicia, Castor, Electra, Gudja. Okay, so we have gotten the same thing here. Okay, so that is completely all right. We just did, and simply save it now. Okay, so save as, or Control Shift S you can just do to for speed purposes. Okay, and here simply I'll just have to write one finished. Okay, in this question, but yeah, you have to just be careful about renaming them, and it has to be exactly what the question has told you to name them. Okay, so that is safe. Clear? So that is just our code for the next program. Okay, nothing else. So yeah, we got 3 scores from this question. A program validates a number input by the user. Okay, so figure 3 shows the output message based on the inputted number. So if it is empty, it should say you must provide a number. Any negative number, the number must be greater than 0. 0 itself as well, the number must be greater than 0. Okay, then 1 up to 20 acceptable, 60 or more acceptable, 31 up to 39 center, 30 perfect. Any other number, no message should be, yeah, it should just simply tell us no message. And for that, yeah, we will have to open Q03C in the code editor, amend the code to ensure the messages are generated correctly. So we have to just get this output. Okay, do not add any further functionality, and save your code as Q03C finish with the correct file extension for the programming language. So let's just open this code and let's see what that is. File, again just open, or Control O. Okay, then this one. Okay, so let's just open. So I opened this. Okay, that is opened, and now we have to just do that. Okay, complete the line to take a string input. So a string input in Python, automatically just everything input does is just a string. Okay, so yeah, if you just simply do that, that is also just all right. Okay, or I can just prompt something as well there. So simply it will, okay, enter a string, for example. Okay, or enter a number, because we are just looking for numbers. Okay, so then after that, yeah, in the next line we have to check if the code is, so problem there, input, yeah, so we have to just do that. Okay, then complete the selection statement. If a string is not equal to empty, okay, so convert the string to an integer. Okay, if it is not empty. If it is empty, then yeah, we will have to just simply do something. Complete this selection statement. So that is, it doesn't have if, so we have to just write one if there. Okay, if it is not equal, then yeah, we have to convert it to integer, int, then that is a string. Clear? So a string will be changed to integer, and it will be stored inside enum. If enum is larger than 0, okay, so complete the tests. So acceptable, okay, we had two just conditions in the question. Yeah, in the question we had two conditions for that. So acceptable, that is 1 up to 20, 31 up to 39. Okay, So we have to just do that. So if nm is larger than 0 and nm is smaller equal than 20. Okay, so 20 itself is also just acceptable here. Okay, as we can see. Okay, 20 itself is acceptable. Then we have just gotten 1. That's why we can just write here if a is larger than 0 or if a is larger equal than 1. Okay, so you have to just both of them will be correct for you. Then the next one is if it is larger than 60. Larger than 60 is also what? Acceptable. Okay, so 60 or more. So if nm is larger or equal to 60. Okay, so that is just another thing, and both of them, okay, whether this is correct or this is correct, okay, one of them can be correct, okay, both of them cannot be correct at the same time. Yeah, so if I want one of them to be correct, then in between which logical operator do I need to use? That is or. Okay, so if the number is just larger equal to 0 and is smaller, it means it is between 1 and 20, or it is larger than 60, so acceptable. Then center, okay, for center we have gotten here okay, sorry, for center we have gotten there 31 to 39. Okay, 31 to 39. So if again, okay, we will just simply write it down the same thing. Okay, if nm is larger and equal to 31 and if nm is smaller equal than, that was 40 I think. Yeah, so on the exam day you will have this paper in front of you, so you will not have to just kind of go back and forth a lot there. Okay, so that is 31 and 39. Okay, so here because I'm just opening both of them on the paper or on the computer, so yeah, I just have gotten that problem, but in edit I'll just reduce them. So that is print center. Okay, then yeah, perfect. Okay, perfect, that is if it is 30, if the user has entered nm and that is equal to exactly 30, then yeah, that is perfect. Okay, else no message. If none of them just got okay, then no message. Then yeah, if nm is larger than 0, so that is okay. If it is not larger than 0, it's equal to 0, is smaller than 0, then yeah, here we have got an else, so the number must be greater than 0. Okay, and we have gotten this. See, if string is not empty string, do this, otherwise else you must provide a number. So let's just check it. Okay, I'll just run it, enter a number, I'll just write there 30. Yeah, so we've gotten one error here. Okay, so the error that we must have here, that is, yeah, elif, between them we have not just used that. Okay, so center, that is between this, and both of them has to be correct. If a number is larger equal than 30 and is smaller than 39, so we have to use end here. Okay, so that is one thing. So always run your code. Okay, otherwise you might just have problem. So 30, perfect. Okay, if I just do not enter anything, if I just run it again, okay, and do not enter anything, so you must provide a number. Okay, if I just enter a number, for example 14, so acceptable. Okay, then 34, that is center. So this is working, and we will just go and save it. Okay, but yeah, check your code for all scenarios. Okay, each one of these conditions that you have written here puts sample data for each one of them. Okay, so now save as, and again just in the folder that we are just told to save, we will just simply write here one finished, and we will be done. Okay, so finished and save. Clear? Yep, so that is just the other question, and we have gotten 6 marks for this. Okay, so you have to be proud of yourself if you have just solved these questions yet. Programmers write code that keeps track of values, is sufficient, and uses subprograms. Okay, so that is global variables are different from local variables. So yeah, state where a global variable is created. So where is a global variable created? Okay, we can just have so what is global variable? Global variable is a variable that is just created outside of any function or anything, or it is just created inside the outermost block of code, and we can just use that inside the inside our program anywhere that we want. Okay, so that is, so what can we write here? Here, okay, that is a state where a global variable is created. So we can write here in the outmost block of code, okay, or just in our main program or anything, that will be just kind of our code here. Then the next question here is state where a local variable is accessible. Okay, so a local variable is accessible. It is accessible inside the block of code or subprogram that it is created, something like that. So yeah, that will be just another score there. An algorithm reports the range that an integer falls within. Integers from 0 to 39 are in the low range, integers from 40 to 69 are in the middle range, and integers from 70 to 100 are in the high range. So figure 4 and 5 show 2 algorithms that solve this problem. So that is send enter an integer to display, then receive the number from the keyboard, which is an integer. Okay, so this is a pseudocode. If the number is larger than smaller than 40, that's 0 to 39, then send low range to display. Else, and inside this else we have gotten another if. The number is smaller than 70, then send middle range to display. Good, and inside this we have gotten one else which does not have any other condition after that. Okay, if that is just higher than that, so that is send high range to display. End if, this is end of this if, and this is end of this if. Okay, so if, else, and if. Okay, in pseudocode we must just have that. So the second pseudocode, that is send enter an integer to display. Good, receive the number from keyboard, which is an integer. Nice. If the number is smaller than 40, then send low range to display end if. So we just finished this if here. If the number is larger than 39 and the number is smaller than 70, send middle range to display. Okay, so that is just after that. And if the number is 69, then send high range to display. Okay, and that is just end if. Explain the reason that the algorithm in figure 4 is more efficient than the algorithm in figure 5. So in your test day you will have this on the paper in front of you. Okay, so you can just go back and forth to check them. But here, as you can see, so if, then we have gotten else. Okay, then we have just gotten if, then we have gotten else. But in this one, for each one of them we have just gotten a separate if. Okay, completely independent if block. So that is okay. And explain the reason that the algorithm for the first one is more efficient than the algorithm in figure 5. Pause the video and think about this. Okay, why is just this better than that? So the answer is, in the figure 4 algorithm, if one condition evaluates to true, the rest of the conditions after that will be ignored. Okay, will be ignored or skipped. Okay, skipped. In figure 5 algorithm, even if a condition evaluates to true, the other conditions will be checked, which makes the figure 4 algorithm more efficient. Okay, so that is kind of the answer there. Okay, so the next question is, a program is required to create a new key. The program takes two inputs. The first input is a 4-character string, 4 characters. The second input is a whole number. The key is constructed by joining the first 2 characters from the string. So first 2 characters of the string, okay? The number, after that number will be there, and the final 2 characters from the string, okay? So for example, yeah, when the user enters the 4 characters string A, B, C, D, and the integer 123 or 123, the program must construct and display the new key A, B, 2 first of them, then the number 123, then CD. Okay, so open QO4C in the code editor, amend the code to complete the subprogram to construct the new key, complete the call to the subprogram. Okay, do not add any further functionality, and just store that or save your code as this or as that. Okay, so let's just do that. So I'll just open Tony here, or our code editor, file, then open. Inside this, yeah, we'll just simply have the QO4C. Okay, so that is open. So inside this one, as you can see, yeah, this is a subprogram that takes a string and a number. That is that will be 4 letters string and just a number. Make the new word here. So making the new word here, let's just see how can we just generate that. Okay, so P string, so that is a string. We will just slice that. Okay, so I'll just start there, P string, and we just no slicing. We will just take 0 up to 2. 2 itself will not be included there, so that will be 0 and 1. Okay, so that's it. Then after that, yeah, we will have to have plus. Okay, comma I will not use here because comma will automatically add 1 space. Okay, so plus, and pnum is a number, so while using plus, we have to just kind of do the castings manually. So I'll just write there pnum. Okay, change that, and after that again we'll have plus, then P string. Okay, P string, and I'll slice it again, start from 2 and just, yeah, it can go up to the end, which is just 4. Okay, and that's it. So that's created, and I will simply do return. Okay, return the new key. So that is just a function that receives a 4 letters string and a number, 2 letters of the string, then the number, then the 2 last letters of the string. Okay, so my string, that is a program, enter a string, int input, enter a whole number, so that's changed to int. Then if length is smaller than 4, string must be 4 characters, else print original is my string and my number, then new key is equal to, so here I'll just call that function, okay. What is this name of that? Gen new key, okay, gen new key, and that takes two inputs, okay. The first one is the my string, which is just the string, okay, my string, and the next one is my number, okay. So my string and my number. So, and after that it will just generate that a new key, my new key. Clear? So let's just run this. The same A B C D enter 1 2 3, okay. So that is original one is A B C D and 1 2 3, then we just got A B 1 2 3 and C D, okay. So that is just our code, that is what we just did. Clear? Save it, okay, file, then save as, simple, where do you want to save it, so it's inside the finished, and here just simply I'll add one finished at the end of this, okay, finished.py, and just simply what, save. Then let's just continue to the next question, okay. And then here we have gotten blank page, okay, and yes, programmers refine algorithms, use searches and read data from files. Shows figure 6 shows an algorithm that determines whether the animal name inputted by the user is found. So that is set variable a1 to alpaca, set a2 to bear, set a3 to camel, and set a4 to deer. So 4 variables with 4 values, okay. Send, enter a number to display, and receive target from keyboard, which is just a string. So that is just kind of it. Now if a1 is target, then send found to display, else we have gotten just else if, okay, or elif, okay. A2 is equal to target, then send found to display, else if f3 is equal to target, send found to display, else if send to display, and end if, okay. So that is figure 6. Explain one improvement to this algorithm that will reduce the number of variables required and will enable it to work with any number of animals. So the problem right now is, okay, this is just creating different or separate variables for different animals, okay, while that can be just simply one list. So explain one improvement, so we can say an array can be used in this program to make it more efficient, okay, more efficient, to make it more efficient. It can then work with different number of animals, different number of animals, and the list, in the list, okay, in the list, and the list can be searched with a loop, okay. So that just kind of makes it better, okay, got it. So an array can be used in this program to make it more efficient. It can then work with different number of animals in the list, and the list can be searched with a loop. So that is just the answer for that question. Binary search is a divide and conquer algorithm. Here is a list of data, okay. A binary search is used to check whether the number 11 is in the list. So 11. The midpoint is calculated by adding the high index to the low index and integer dividing by 2. It means just we do not need the decimal points, okay. Complete the table to show the values for the high index and low index at the end, the midpoint on each pass of a binary search. So the first one here, this is index is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so the high index is 9. So we can just simply write here 9. Okay. Then the low index, okay, the low index in the first time, that is 0. 0 plus 9 will be 9, divided by 2 will be 4.5, but simply integer division, that will be 4. Clear? So now that happened, okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so that is okay. Now 11 is smaller than this, so it has to be here. So high index will change, okay, high index will, if this is 4, high index will just come here. So high index in the next time it will be 3. Our low index won't change, okay, so that will just remain 0. And 3 plus 0 will be 3, divided by 2 it will be 1.5, but integer 1. Okay, so we'll just simply now check 1, 12. Okay, so now, so that is also not possible. So 12 is not equal to 11, and 11 is smaller than this. We are searching for 11. Yeah, so what, our high will change. So high will become 0, and this will also become what, 0. So we just got to it, and the midpoint as well. So 0 plus 0 will be just 0. Okay, so we do not have that. So this can be just kind of the different values of high index and low index on different stages of or steps of the binary search. Okay, you may not need to use all the rows in the table. Clear? So 4 numbers or 4 marks you will just get there, and it is that easy. The next question shows the cells.txt file. It stores the cells information. Okay, so that is cells information. Let's see what we have to do with this. Yeah, and cells.txt file is present in our files, in our data as well. Okay, so IGCSE has provided us with that. So a program is required to calculate and display a subtotal for each line of cells. What will be just total of that, total of this, total of this. Okay, so that is subtotal, and a grain total for all the cells in the file, something like this. Okay, so first line, second line, third, fourth, fifth line. Okay, and after that, grain total equals this much. So that is what we intend to do. So open Q05C in the code editor, amend the code to produce the intended output. So we just want this. You must use the structure and variables given in Q05C to complete the subprogram. It means you cannot change the variables and data structures. Okay, do not add any further functionality, and just save your code with that, and so we can just do. So let's go and open Q05C. Okay, so that is file, open, and Q05C. Just opened it, and now, yeah, we have got an input file. So that is cells.txt, that is just name of our file, and comma. Okay, so that's this comma, and there are some constants. Subtotal is 0 for now, grain total is 0. Okay, so my file, so how can we just open that? Simple, in Python we write open file name. Okay, so that is input file. Okay, input underscore file, and how do you want to just read that? Open it in read mode. Okay, so we want to just read from that. So that is the code for that. Then complete the code to read each line of the input file. Okay, so for line in the file dot read lines. Okay, read lines. So read lines will just read the lines one by one. Okay, and together, and it will just simply create a something like a list, and one by one we will just work on them with the variable line. Okay, so that's good. Then complete the code to split the line into a set of 5 strings. So line dot split. okay, and we want to split them on what? On comma. So we have gotten the variable comma there, okay. So we have to just work on this because the program or the question has told us to just work with the variables and structures present inside the program. Otherwise, if you just write comma there, okay, inside this you just simply write comma, that will work. But in this question, in order to just get your score, you have to just use them, okay. Subtotal is equal to 0, so add code to sum up each value in the set of 5 strings, okay. So add code to sum up each value in the set of 5 strings. So first of all, right now we've just gotten here, this is a list of strings, okay. We have to just one by one change them as well. So for now we will just simply write there for number, okay, or for cell in string cells, okay, string cells. So every time you will have to just simply cell is equal to int cell, okay. Then we just simply did that. Then subtotal is equal to subtotal plus cell. Clear? So that is just what we get. So every time this happens, we'll just simply have that. So add code to display the subtotal for the line. So I don't want that to be just happen inside this. When we just got out of this for loop, we have to just do that, okay. So simple print subtotal. Something that you have to be very careful about is this identifiers, okay. A simple change in this identifiers will just result in creating a new variable and your code won't work, okay. Add code to calculate the running total, okay. So every time we just simply want to have that, so subtotal will be that, okay. So what is just the variable for that? That is grain total, okay. So grain total, we can use plus equal or equals grain total plus subtotal, okay. So you can just use any one of them, and after just subtotal is created, okay, after we just get out of this for loop which finishes all tenses, okay, all the lines, then add code to display the grain total. So simple, here we will just write here print grain total. Now inside our question we have to just check what is just the, so that is grain total, G is capital, okay. So grain total comma, okay, comma itself adds one space here, so just none, okay, and grain total. Clear? So that is what we have just done. And the file, this is close, okay. At the end we want to just close our file. So again, see here, okay, if I just do this, this is the code we just took, okay, and the simple file, it cannot be shown here because just our data type is just not correct, okay. All files, then yeah, cells.txt is just present here. So when we are just using that code here, or just when we are using this, so we can just do that. So now let's just run this, and in our output, yeah, that is okay, 15,000. So that is just this question. And let's save it. Do not forget to save it, okay. So save as, and yeah, in any folder that you will be just kind of guided in on the exam day, in that folder just you will go and you will just add a finish there and save it. Clear? Let's go to the next question. What is just our next question? Yeah, the mistake in the naming I've just done, okay? So you have to be careful there. A program stores pair of words in two-dimensional arrays. Okay, so pair of words in two-dimensional arrays. Each word in a pair starts with a different letter. So one pair, it means two words there, they do not start with the same letter. Each pair of words should be in alphabetical order, but some are not. Good. The last pair in the array is an empty pair. Okay, the last pair in the array is an empty pair. Okay. The program must replace the final blank pairs of word with the variables word 1 and word 2. So they are just inside the code present. Okay. Display the pair number of each pair. Pair number 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Followed by each word in the pair without punctuation. Good. Now after that, display the longer word in the pair indented. So for example, see here apple and banana. So first of all, numbered, this is just 1, and after that apple and banana, that is just this the original pair. Then after that, the longer word, okay, with that should be indented, okay, banana. Then display any pair found to be in alphabetical order, not in alphabetical order, in alphabetical order, indented without punctuation. So if the original pair is not in alphabetical order, you have to just do that. So for example, apple and banana here, they are in alphabetical order, so nothing there. But wrist and leg, so W and L, these both are not sorted. Okay, so after we just output the longer word here, we will output both of them in the correct order. Okay, and we can just continue doing that. Figure 9 shows parts of the intended output from a functional program. So this is just parts of. So open the file Q06 in the code editor. Write a program to produce the intended output. Okay, you must use the structure and variables given in Q06 to complete the program. Your program should function correctly even if the number of pair in the array is changed. So you should use techniques to make your code easy to read. So yeah, let's just do that. So again, file, open. Now that we just open it, that is Q06.py, we will just simply open that. So we have to do just different things here. As you can see, this is a 2D array. Okay, this is a list of lists. So the first thing that we have to do, we have to just replace this both with these two new words. Okay, so how can we just do that? I'll write the table words. Okay, what is just which index should we just use there? The first index. Okay, it means that is just the last one. So we can use table words or TBL words. Okay, TBL words or len. Sorry, this is Python. Okay, len of TBL words -1. Okay, because this is the last index. And 0, index 0. Okay, inside this index 0 of that, it should be equal to what? It should be equal to word 1. Now let's just do the same thing with the second word 2. Control C, and simple will have control V. So instead of 1, now I'll just write here 0, I'll write here 1 and word 2. So this codes will replace these two words to this into this last pair of words. Okay, and then now after that, what do we have to do? Okay, we have to just check for each one of them. So that is 4, row in TBL words. Okay, you can just words instead of this row, you can use any other thing. Okay, so now this 4 every time just takes one of these pair of lists, put it inside row. Okay, and now we have to first of all we have to have a number there, by the way. Okay, I can write it here. I is equal to 1. Okay, and I can just simply write here print I comma then row index 0, then row index 1. Okay, so this will print the first thing. Okay, let's go to the question. So this will do this. Okay, 1 apple banana, 2 risk leg, 3 blue yellow. So that part will be just done. Okay, now the next thing that we need to do, just indent it. Okay, it means with a tab. Okay, it has just not told us how much indented, but just indented. So that has to just be, we have to print the longer word. So again here I'll just have to have a word. Okay, if len of row 0 is larger than len of row 1. Okay, len of row index 1. Okay, index 1. Okay, you can just change this row to words to just, if that makes it easier for you. So right now I'm just checking these 2 words. Okay, which one is longer? Okay, length of which one of them is just higher. So if row 1 is, so do this print indented. Okay, so we just can put some spaces there. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. You can just use a cut here. Okay, so here after that, yeah, we have to just the longer one. Okay, we have to just print them indented. So print, we can just indent it, we can put 5 spaces there. Okay, then after that comma row index 0, because if this is true, so row index 0 is larger. Okay, or you can just do another thing. Okay, just simple put there space 1 space and just multiply that with 5. So 5 times this will happen, and after that what? Row 0. If that is just not true, if this condition is not true, so obviously the other one is longer. Okay, so here again print multiplied by 5, then comma, you can just use comma, or because they are words you can use plus as well there, both of them can just work. Okay, so plus row 1. Clear? So this is the second part. And after that, the next thing, if they are ordered already, okay, we can we should do nothing according to just alphabetically. If they are ordered, we should do nothing. If they are not, then we have to just kind of edit our code. Clear? So here, how to check that? So doing that is quite easy, and that is just kind of simple. We'll have one if row index 0, okay, is larger than row index 1, okay. So here they are just comparing the ASCII codes, and remember that ASCII code of B is larger than ASCII code of A. Okay, so it means if the larger ASCII code, it means the word has to just come later. So see, if this is larger, it means we have to change the place. Okay, if this is larger, okay, if this is larger, so the later ASCII code has come just first. Okay, then here we have to just write, we have to change the place. Okay, so print, again we have to just write something like this, space multiplied by 5. Okay, then after that plus, we have to write, first we have to write row 1, okay, or just the first word. Then after that here we have to have a comma, then plus row 0. Okay, so that's it. If this condition is true, we will do this, otherwise we will just completely ignore it. Okay, we will completely ignore it. So let's check it. Okay, let's run it once to check for the errors. Okay, so if I just run it, yeah, we have just gotten things. Okay, this is never closed. Okay, let's check in which line this is. Okay, Python's in line 33. Okay, so in line 33, what was never closed? Yeah, we have to just close a bracket here. Okay, so that's why it's very good to run your code every time. So newspaper and book. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so everything else is right. Banana, leg, wrist, blue, yellow, and speaker, keyboard. So yeah, and they have to just change place. So we just did that. Only these numbers, they have not changed. So let's just why they have not changed. Inside this I have to just write here. Okay, I equals I plus 1. Okay, run it now, and yeah, that is just what we got here. Okay, so that is our program, and now I'll just simply save it. Okay, save as inside the finished, and I'll just simply have to just write one finished here. Okay, just be careful about one thing, one mistake that I just made here. Okay, you have to follow exactly the same names written here. So see here, finished is all written in capital. In the previous questions as well, it is the same, but here I've just not done that in any of them. Okay, if this happens, you will just simply lose your score. So all of them finished, they have to just kind of change. Now I will just go and change the name after this, but you have to also be careful when you're just doing that. Okay, and when you just finish your paper as well, once again check everything. Okay, this is just one of the things. So save, and that is just kind of this program. It works quite nicely, and you can just add some comments there. Okay, because inside the question, one of the things that it has said, okay, yeah, display function, Your program should function correctly even if the number, and you should use techniques to make your code easy to read. Okay, so when it is just telling you things like that, you have to just kind of be careful about that. Okay, so row, instead of this row you can use word. That will be just make it better, and you can add some code here. Okay, comments here. So for example, yeah, I'll just you might add a comment here. Save word 1 and word 2 in the last index, okay, instead of empty strings. Clear? So you can just do something like that, or comment traverse the whole word table. Okay, for each one of them you can just do things like that. Okay, so here as well you may just add one comment. If len row is just check which one is longer word and display that indented. Okay, so you can just continue it like that, put your comments there, and that is the last question of this paper. Okay, then you may just, after this you have gotten your PLS, which is just your helper papers where just Python codes and pseudocode rules are just written there, and you can just simply use them. We will just discuss about them in any other video. Wish you all the best, good luck and goodbye. Okay, and try to solve these questions before I solve it. Means pause the video, solve it, then just look at my answers. Okay, so wish you all the best, good luck and goodbye.